What is up guys, Novum here, and yesterday I got a chance to play the opening hour of Final Fantasy 15 at New York Comic Con, and I'm just gonna give you my impressions. But before I do, I have to talk about a little situation beforehand. I went early in the morning to grab a reservation ticket, and thankfully I did, cause when I came back they were all gone. When I did get to play the game, they put me on an Xbox One, which had slightly worse graphics than the PS4. The bushes look kinda like sprites to be quite honest, but the PS4 version looked good and it was really clean. Also note that this is the updated version with the new skill trees. I also played a bit of King's Tale, and all I have to say is don't expect too much. It really is a Streets of Rage or Scott Pilgrim type of game that's fun to play on the side. You have basic combos and warp strikes. It was something. Now on to the main game impressions. I started up a new game on normal and played Chapter 0. You can't attack or do anything but move Noctis, and I guess they didn't want to spoil what his late game abilities could be, so that's okay. After Chapter 0, there was an intro cutscene titled Before the Fall. You may have seen off-screen footage of this before. It's a few minutes long and it looks better on a good TV in person, to be honest. This felt pretty emotional, and if you've seen Kingsglaive, there will be a bit more impact when it comes to understanding this opening. I won't spoil it here, but just note I'd recommend you watch Kingsglaive before playing the game. After the intro scene, I started up my playthrough and skipped the cutscenes in between because I already know what happens. I just wanted to get to the combat. I'm excited to let everyone know that there have been some major improvements in the combat in terms of how it feels. It's just so clean and so smooth. It feels fresh and new, but it's just so good. I really wish I could get a chance to play more, to be honest. I started my first few fights against the Scorpions, and the first thing I did was warp up to the high pillar and warp strike back down to the Scorpions for a satisfying long warp damage bonus. Taking advantage of the environments is very useful, and I'm glad they give you the options in battle, literally in the first fight of the game. This is a very good sign for what's to come. The sword felt right. It was fast and killed at the expected pace. The great sword felt good as well, with satisfying combos and knockbacks. But I have to say, the spear was my favorite to play with. It had a good lunge towards the enemies and attacked multiple times in the initial dash or stab. After the base combo, you can do a flip forward and dive downwards in the air with the spear for a strong finisher that does multiple hits as well. It was just really well done and it was really fun. It seems a lot of the environments are built to support the combat with warp striking and the cover system. I also used some potions, and I believe you hit the right bumper or trigger and the item menu pops up and pauses the game. I also got a look at the skill tree, but it was basically everything I had already known from before, but the new updated trees were in as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much of a good look at those. As for the driving, it isn't something I can really talk too much about. I mean, it's just kind of basic. There isn't much to expect here. I mean, it's just driving. I plan to have Ignis drive me in the final game personally, just to enjoy the sights. After all that, I got to face the Bloodhorn boss. I have to say I did make a mistake. I didn't camp before the boss when Ignis recommends to, so I didn't level up or get the damage boosts. So basically, it was a level 1 boss run. The fight took a while and it wasn't too hard. I made use of all the combos, warping, link attacks, parrying, and ally commands. Again, the system has a lot to offer early on. Anyways, after killing the Bloodhorn, my demo time was over and I was given a free Final Fantasy 15 t-shirt. Funnily enough, a friend of mine did camp before the Bloodhorn boss fight, and he leveled up, got the attack buff from the food, and ended up killing the Bloodhorn in a fraction of the time that it took me to kill it. I was baffled at how much the stats really did matter. Anyways, this was my Final Fantasy 15 opening hour demo impressions. I'm really excited for the game, and it seems to have a lot more polish than the footage from before. Honestly, it looks like it's ready for release. Thanks for watching.